Hello there, I'm Gary Foster and welcome to episode 41 of What Price Victory. And today's video is the Wanderers in A-League action and their two back-to-back games against Macarthur FC. So as you can see by the table, Wanderers have been in pretty good form since you last joined us, where they've cemented their place at the top of the tree. They're now 9 points in front of Melbourne City with a game in hand. Macarthur, who are not travelling all that well, have still got an outside chance of getting into the semi-final playoffs, but they need to start putting points together. The issue with Wanderers is that we've been the most consistent team of late. Melbourne and Sydney have been dropping points. Melbourne Victory have been dropping points left, right and centre, and the only team that's showed any real form outside the Wanderers has been the Newcastle Jets, who have now consolidated themselves in the semi-finals. Now, just since you last joined us in the last video, which was against Shenzhen in the Asian Champions League, where it was a late Slobodan Tedic goal, got us the biscuits. Adelaide United were visitors, and the Wanderers put them to the sword 4-1. It was a pretty good performance, a slow start, but certainly 2 goals just before half-time set us up quite well. Central Coast Mariners were next, and once again a pretty slow start, but the Wanderers, playing a highly rotated squad, we won 3-0. The previous game, I should say, against Adelaide, we didn't play a very rotated squad. There was 1 or 2 changes, but all players surprisingly pulled up well after Shenzhen, so we were able to field a pretty strong side. Western United were the next game, and a 4-2 win there, and that was highlighted by a Slobodan Tedic hat-trick, and we won 4-2. Disappointing to have conceded 2 goals, because one was quite sloppy, but it was 2-2 at half-time, and the Wanderers, once again, they finished the game quite well. Now, in past videos, I'd had an ACL flavour to the save. Okay, so I'll just apply this filter to the Asian Champions League, and as you can see, in past competitions, I had featured these games, but as you can see there in the last game against Shenzhen, where we got an injury time winner, we were drawn at home against Yaranabon from the Myanmar First Division, and Hanoi City, or Hanoi FC. We were drawn away to them, and I was expecting 2 comprehensive wins, and although Yaranabon improved in their performance, Hanoi FC, they didn't really cover themselves with glory. So in that previous video, I'd made an executive decision to play those offline because I thought they might have been comprehensive wins. So that Group J puts the Wanderers, no surprise, 5 wins from 5 played, puts us on top of the tree in Group J, and all we have to do is to get a point against Shenzhen, which is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Right, so that's about all the news that is news. Let me go and do a little bit of admin, and we'll come back for the double header against, or the back-to-back games against Macarthur. Okay, so here we are for the game against Macarthur, which is billed as a Western Sydney derby. Now, we've got Holmes in goal, we've got Traore, Pacheco, Wright and Miller in defence, Metcalf and Bacchus In midfield, Bacchus comes in for Aziz, who's got some fitness issues. Tulloch and Abini are our wide attacking players. Tedik and Temeruskov are up front. So we'll just submit that team. Go to the dressing room and we'll be assertive. And we'll go to the tunnel. I'll send the assistant. And I just need to make sure that that is changed to key highlights because we don't want it going on for 4.5 hours. So, Wanderers in their Where's Wally shirts. Defending pretty well. There's no real progress been made by Macarthur. Although, good tackle in by Traore to get stuck in. So we expect a derby game to be a tight affair, and perhaps even a few bookings. But here we are, Traore, Metcalf, cross to Temeruskov, and then Miller, who'd come up from the back. There's an appeal for a penalty, but I don't think that's going to be looked at. But there's a world-class effort by Temeruskov. That is a great goal. So they waved so Pacheco gone to Temeruskov just at the top of the D. And you may notice that there's actually crowds in these games. I had somehow inadvertently turned off the crowd button some time ago, and I've been wondering why on earth we haven't been playing with crowds. So very sheepish somewhat, because I was critical during one of the videos about how there was no crowds being shown. So yeah, it's nice to see a full house here for the Wanderers' visit to Macarthur. Okay, so stripping through to half time, but another highlight shows Traore out wide. Low cross to Tulloch, into Metcalf, and Abini. Has he been brought down in the box? The referee says yes, but it'll probably go to VAR to see if the young lad has made a clear and obvious error. Penalty is awarded. So Abini, just before half time, dispatches it without a problem. Okay, no need to see the replay, we know what a penalty looks like. So that's half time at the football. So into the dressing room. Be assertive once again. I didn't think we were controlling it that well. Things are going well, but they're capable of even better. Let's see how we go. So Metcalf with an early corner, claimed by the keeper. So Macarthur playing through the middle. Traore with a header out wide to Tulloch. Metcalf. Okay, finding a little bit of room. Hooked over across to a... Quite sure who that was there. Beanie on the ball. Down the line. No, they elect to go inside. Metcalf, you can take the ball forward, but there he is. Picked out Tedik. Tedik props. Oh, and is... I think that's contact. Actually, on the line is in the box. So it might be a penalty. No penalty. Okay, so it was just outside the box. Fair enough. Okay, so we are dominating the game. There's no two ways about that. With the game on key highlights, I just need to be mindful of the game ripping through. Good save by Holmes. Just let it run through a little while longer. Oh, in behind us. Oh, Holmes stands up and does really, really well. Defending, oh, now that looked, since Holmes made a big mistake in coming out, and then Miller, I think, had the indignity of scoring an own goal. Yeah. Not good. Not good. Vincent Macarthur are back in the game where they really didn't deserve to be. Tulloch on the ball, low cross in. Second phase ball now. Pacheco sets it up with Metcalf out to Traore. Through to Temeruskov. Tulloch with a low cross back to Temeruskov, and Temeruskov slides it in. Okay, so yeah, we know what the goal looks like. We'll get back to the highlight. Just might make a sub. I'm trying to nurse Bernie Abini through. Look at Ali Oglar and Pacheco. He's also needs some regular rests. Ooh, good save. It's a little bit better from Holmes. Although, what's happening? Penalty awarded. What for? Mabini. Okay. Well, he's been subbed off now. So once again, Wanderers concede. Okay, so this is being a little bit more of an arm wrestle than what I would have hoped, but Beanie's been subbed, so that yellow card's been negated. Shouts, a little bit of encouragement. Now, Backus and Metcalf with a chance to set something up. Tulloch and Traore out to Tedic. Can he finish? Tedic, he sure does. Great finish. Great finish. Okay, so once again, Wanderers have restored their two-goal advantage thanks to Slobodan Tedic. Now, Miller not playing the best, but that's probably due to his own goal. Let's bring Garkovic on, he's been playing well for us, but he's still got his cranky pants on, and he's arranged a future transfer, so won't be much in the way of a playing career now at Wanderers for him. He's determined to get away. And there's the final whistle, 4-2. Now, I'm going to the dressing room. I think we'll give them a cuddle and say it was a nice win. They shook our cage a little bit. Now, with 5 games to go, 15 points are on offer, and we've got 12-point gap. So the next game will be crucial to see if Wanderers can actually finish on top of the A-League tree. Okay, so we'll just continue this through. Ali Orglar's been injured. Okay, that's not such a big deal. Look, let me go and do a little bit of admin, because as you can see, the game against Wanderers is in 3 days. The game for Wanderers against Macarthur, who have now been pushed to the bottom of the league, is in 3 days' time. So let me go and do a little bit of admin, and we'll come back for that. Okay, so here we are for the follow-up game against Macarthur. Not too many changes to the team, although there are a couple of subtle changes due to fitness issues. We've got Holmes in goal, Triatos, Pacheco, Bagculio and Agarkovic in defence, Bacchus and Aziz in midfield, Nazarene and Tulloch are our wide attacking players, and we've got Tamaruskov and Tedik up the pointy end of the ship. So we'll submit that team. So this could be a watershed game for Nazarene, because, as I said, he's put in some poor performances for me, and he's a very versatile player, so I would really like him to be able to put in some performances that warrant the side. And I've just realised that I've just clicked on the favourites. I've been trying to do 2 things at once, and I just clicked on a favourites talk, which I don't normally like doing, but Agarkovic, who's come up from the back, got a cross in, but the deflection easily picked out by the Macarthur keeper. So with that previous game, only 3 days game time prior, I'd like to think that we'd be able to keep on some pretty good form. But coming up soon, though, we've got our ACL game that Tulloch bears through. He's got a narrow angle now and goes for a corner. So Shenzhen is coming up next. So that's important that we get at least a draw from that game. That will put us on top of the ACL table, and it'll help our seedings for the next round, I think. Okay, so game is zipping through. Interesting, the formation that Macarthur are playing, because considering they've got such a leaky defence, I would have thought they'd have more in defence than what they have, but there we go. So I'm talking about how poor their attack is. They nod the ball on, and Pacheco and Bagculio were left a little bit short then. Yeah, Pacheco, he was the one that got out jumped. Right. Okay, so time to put the cranky pants on. Nazarene dispossessed. Ooh, Aziz with a good tackle. It could have gone terribly, terribly wrong. Tamaruskov sends the ball in. Aziz is out jump. It went to 5 players committed forward in that attack. We could be a little bit short at the back, but Aziz tracks back and wins it back. Nazarene, penalty. I don't think that looked harsh at all. Second last defender, is he going to get carded as well? Risk off with the penalty. Oh, dispatched. Okay, so parity has been restored. Okay, so we need to reset now. Nejarine not playing too badly. Coming up towards half time. I think it could be pretty much steady she goes. I don't think there's any need for any drastic changes, except Aziz gets his pocket picked there, gets easily dispossessed. Oh, he's got to be close to offside, surely. And right on the stroke of half time, Macarthur sucker punches. No VAR checking. Goal disallowed, thank you very much. Been doing it all day, ref. Mile and a half, Your Honour. What's the AR doing? Okay, so that's the end of half time. So I don't think we can be too happy, even though XG would suggest we are, or should be, in front. So I'll tell them to pull their finger out. Just our striking has been quite clinical, usually quite clinical. 5 on target with an expected XG of 2. Although there's only been one clear-cut chance. I'm not quite sure how this XG works. And I think it's just something else that SI have thrown in to muddy the waters. Right, so Bacchus on Metcalf. And Tulloch, he's running on empty. So with oh no, bring Pickering on. I just need to pause that. And I need to pull that out. I just need to swap those two young lads around. Might change him into a poaching role now. As I mentioned there, the conditions of his loan as he plays as a false 9, but he earned his stripes as a poacher with all the goals. So here we are. Okay, so England long cross easily cut out by Pacheco. Triatos hadn't had a bad game, but ratings would suggest he can do better. He's got to be offside too, surely. Last kick of the game. So this is what going to be the third goal to... Oh, bastard. Okay, so sucker punched right at the end. Can't really see the point in making any more subs. So Nejarine on the ball. Ooh, Metcalf. The Late Late Show. Metcalf with a screamer. To Maruskov, back to Nazarene. Metcalf coming up, and he cracked it in. Quite wasteful. Yeah, so I don't really know where that all turned to custard, but it leaves us still on top of the tree, and the fact was that we got through the game without any injuries. We still have a 10-point buffer with 4 games in hand, so there could be an interesting scenario coming up, which is going to be similar to what it was last year, in that the title, the A-League title, could be decided in a game against Sydney FC, and it'll be at home. So yeah, that might be a game worth coming back for, because I think that's interspersed, because the original tactic was that the Champions League game would be a standalone, so could make it an interesting video, that, with the Championship and the ACL top spot all up for grabs. So that might be the tactic now. So not much turnaround time. So I'm Gary Foster. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch up with you very, very soon.